Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Bar, Low Impact Full Body Workouts. I'm today with Sam and Melody. Finally, guys, we are gathering together. Looks like Sam had a lot of fun last week and Melody was out too. So it's getting cold, guys. So we need to stay more consistent with our discussions because I'm always happy to see you guys. Okay, today we have I'll let you decide what we'll do, okay? We can debunk some content. I have the bullshit folder expanding on my Instagram. So we can always do that. We can always get your call-ins. So while we are warming up, maybe you decide to call us. I'm going to share the link with you that you can use to get into a call and share your story or your observations with us in regards to relationships or just content, what you hear on social media. If you have any questions about content, so you can use this link to get into the chat. And here we have Accounting Ship. Good to see you, Accounting Ship. Yeah. Interrogate Ash. Okay, Ashton, can you call us in, because it's been a while that you you have been very active on the channel and you've been joining us for the discussions. So would you like to call in today? Yeah, I would love to talk to Ashton too, Accounting Ship. Yeah, and then we have Will Stevenson. It's Sam's brother. Yay! How old is your brother, Sam?
You have to guess.
Is he older than you?
Well, I'm sure you've seen his Instagram, right?
Oh, no, actually. Let me check.
He's the other attractive dude on Instagram besides me.
Ah, okay. Okay, what's his name on Instagram?
I believe it's the same. I think it's like at Will. That's a great question. At will.stevenson.iii.
Ah, yeah, I see. Okay, he looks a little older than you are. That would be my guess. Have you seen him, Mel? Melody is going to have some sound issues. You need to unmute yourself. Now it's quiet, but you're going to hear Melody now. Yes.
No, I can't see that screen, but I think I messaged him like a while ago.
Ah, okay.
I saw. I didn't freak through like his whole Instagram though.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's nice to hear that you guys stay in touch and talk to each other besides this live stream. Yeah. Okay. She says that she can't at the moment living with my parents. Well, that was your previous excuse last time too, Ashton. Not allowed. Why are you not allowed to call us? But I'll explain in the chat as best as I can. Okay. Yeah. Some of us
What, Elena? You only gave her 1 week to move out?
Oh, what, to move out from the parents? No, I was just thinking like, oh, maybe she would go to the cafeteria or elsewhere to talk to us. If she, gosh, why don't you talk to your parents? Do you talk to your parents about these topics, Ashton? What does your dad say about your relationships? I know that you've mentioned that your dad is very strict. He's very strict. He's kind of old-fashioned man, but it's actually not a bad sign if your dad is participating and gives you some wise advice about guys. Yeah. I remember my dad once, I only introduced the guys that I didn't care much about to my dad. So that he could kind of, with the questions, drill them. And there was one guy that we were just friends, okay? And I knew that he could probably handle that. So I presented him to my dad. And my dad was asking all of the hard questions that men usually ask guys, you know, when they try to figure out whether this guy is serious or not, and just like manly questions. And I was watching this guy who I think he hated me for doing that to him. And I actually, so if you present a guy to your dad can teach you what kind of questions to ask the boyfriends and man, so that you don't make mistakes and you don't live in illusions, because what you construct in your head is not necessarily true, and your dad can help you to figure it out so that your delusions disappear and you live with the facts and with reality. So, okay, sheep is suspicious here. Yes, allowed to marry strange men, but not allowed to video chat. Such strict rules. I agree. Yeah. Well, Ashton, sorry, we are picking on you here, but we really want to meet you. Yeah, I met back in March. I was having a controversial conflict with a person in Twin Peaks Coffee Time, the channel. I was actually using him because he was a rival, but then he was so nice. So we became what? You became friends?
No, they just manifested.
Okay. Interesting. Well, anyway, guys, if one of you wants to join in, I wonder if Emma will show up today. I did send her the invitation link, but I don't see her here, so maybe she will join us a bit later. Oh, here she is. Hi, dear. We just finished talking about you.
No, what were you saying?
I was saying that you asked to be in, and then I emailed you the invitation link, and I was wondering when you would join us.
I've just got out of the bath. I was in the bath when you messaged.
Okay, that's okay. Good to hear. What were you up to? You say that there is carnival in the UK now?
Yeah, I live in the southwest, and we have, in this time of year, we have illuminated processions. So I belong to a club. Each club has its own cart. I was helping build for like a solid week with that, lots of late nights and early mornings, painting, building, sewing, all sorts.
Wow.
Yeah, you've got them in my area at the moment in North Dorset, and I think we just cross over into Somerset. And then early November, it goes down to Somerset, and you've got massive carts. If you're interested, Google Somerset carnivals, and you'll get an idea of the carts that are being built. Ours isn't as big as what you're going to see, but they're humongous.
Are they like parade floats? Or like that's I think what we call them in the US. Like it's the thing that goes down the street, but it's just super. Oh, that's so much fun! I love parade floats.
I mean, like if you're standing watching them, the Somerset ones are about 3 hours to watch. But they're incredible, and I've been involved for many, many years.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's quite something. I love performing, but you could never get me on stage, but I love bouncing on those.
Wow.
So how is everyone?
We have some kind of parade here in the village for the Thanksgiving. No, not Thanksgiving, for Halloween. So everybody's going to wear their costumes and have some fun there. I don't know if I'll come because the traffic can be so bad and I don't want to get stuck.
Yeah.
I don't like to be in traffic. I know that if it's without traffic, it would take me like 10, maybe maximum 15 minutes to get there. But with the traffic, you never know. It can take you up to an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah.
Sorry, I did some chips while I was in the bath, so I'm eating those as well. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, feel free to munch. Yeah. Okay. let's get into it, guys. I have a lot of content for you, and we just checked with Sam. I can't share the screen with you, at least with this computer, so that it makes sound. It's not going to make any sound here, so I'll have to share with you my phone. But I hope that you can still see what we are going to do. I'm going to my bullshit folder here, and we'll just start listening to this. I can't even do presentation here because I don't know where anything is. It just kind of moved all of my stuff that my husband managed to save from my old computer that collapsed here, and I don't see any programs, you know, like you you have PowerPoint, you have anything. So I apologize for not having any presentation today because I honestly don't know where to find it on this computer. It just flooded the screen, the main page of the computer with all of my pictures and files that were moved from old computer, but I don't see any programs that you could use. Okay. Let's see here. What do we have? I have a psychologist here, a teacher. She is teaching psychology to people. I have a guy who sells courses to young women, how to not be single and attract the love of your life. And then I have this guy. I think I've debunked him before, but let's start with him. We'll just warm up. Oops, hold on. Yeah.
She's single because she's looking for 90s love in this 2023 generation. People aren't dating anymore. They are just talking, catching feelings, sleeping together, and ending up in situationships. Women get to a point in their life where it's not just about sex. It's about having a real man to love, trust, and have her back. So this new generation isn't for her. If you really want her, you're gonna have to prove it with your actions, not words. Period.
What do you think? Let's start with Sam. I see he's smiling there.
Oh man, there's a lot of presumptions in there. Man, play that one more time so I can solidify my thoughts.
Okay.
She's single because she's looking for 90s love in this 2023 generation. People aren't dating anymore. They are just talking, catching feelings, sleeping together, and ending up in situationships. Women get to a point in their life where it's not just about sex. It's about having a real man to love, trust, and have her back. So this new generation isn't for her. If you really want her, you're gonna have to prove it with your actions, not words. Period.
And he's selling this to women?
Well, this guy is not selling anything. He's just a blue-pilling man. Okay. Mostly, he talks to men how they should man up and how they should be better because the woman is just so perfect and she can do no wrong.
Got it. Well, he was right about one thing, and that's that at some point women get out of the hoe phase and they want more than just sex. So, kind of, hit that on the head. But he made an incorrect presumption in there about how men are only real men when they, are trustworthy and do the right thing and marry those hoes, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit silly. And when he started out and said, these girls are single because men aren't manning up enough, basically, is the gist that yes. I got. And it's like, no, these women are single because they made bad decisions in their hoe phase. And now they aren't going to be attractive the same way to guys that want to commit to somebody for a long term. So yeah, that was a few things.
Well, and then he also points out that women live in the old-fashioned world. They want men to be all traditional and prove it with their actions. When women, how do women behave? It's like, have you bothered to ask? And I wonder, like, this guy, has he even questioned the behavior of women today? They don't behave in an old-fashioned way, but they expect a guy to be that perfect human being who would bail them out and be this white knight or just a great man who would basically Captain Save a whore. So she can do whatever she wants. She can mess it up. She can sleep around. And then what he says that you need to man up. You need to be better for this horse.
Right.
Okay, let's see what.
Not all women are like old and single though because they were hoes at any point in their life. Like some, you know, maybe we're with one dude and it was so horrible that they're like never again. Like that happens.
Well, Mel, but then what's the behavior of this woman?
Well, right. Or what if she is like just like not a hoe and like she is just, you know, she can support herself and like maybe that's not what she wanted to do, but it's where she is, and so she accepts that and she like lives life as like an outstanding woman.
Well, those women are rare. Okay, if you're talking about yourself here, you are a very rare case.
She's actually describing me.
Well, it could be you too. Okay, guys, a quick disclaimer here. We have a collection of very good, nice women here who are single, okay, and they are okay with that choice. But if you look at women around on social media, especially the single women who are saying, "Oh, I'm so great." At least neither of you have huge clout, or you don't expose yourself semi-naked. You don't do the crazy stuff that the other women do. You know. Yeah, sure, you might have some spiders in your head, but everybody does, and you might have your own issues, but not to the extent that those girls have.
Well, the thing is, if she's like living in the past and looking for 90s love in 2023, she's probably like living in the past in like multiple areas of her life and like not heavily involved in social media.
That would be a rational response. I agree with you.
Like, so, I mean, yeah, you have to look, is she actually looking for 90s love? And that's what he's saying, like, you know, look at
look at
the man's actions, but you have to look at like both actions, you know, and like,
is she behaving like the woman from the 90s? Or is she behaving like a modern woman who wants her freedom and who is not willing to give up anything to get what she wants? So what I see, and I have been analyzing content, I see a lot of older women also. They want it all. They want a cake and eat it too. They want an old-fashioned guy, for the most part, but they don't want to behave like an old-fashioned woman. An old-fashioned woman wouldn't have a big Instagram account. She wouldn't need it. She wouldn't have time for it. She would be too busy. Yeah, right. She would be too busy working or doing other things. So being married, having a family, she wouldn't need to expose herself out there for other men to see. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Let's see what our guys here say. Okay, Ashton now throws Johnny under the bus a bit here. Johnny is what you can say a white knight. Loves me for me. Okay. Where is the proposal? Where is the marriage proposal? We talked to the guy, Ashton. He didn't propose to you. Well, maybe he will at some point. I just don't want you to have these illusions in your mind that, oh, you construct it in your brain that you have this perfect love, but in reality, it hasn't happened yet. I believe it when I see it. When I see the ring on your finger, when I see the maybe wedding invitation or like a postcard or
Oh, she gets a wedding invitation now.
no, I mean like something, okay, some proof of it, then okay, you have something, okay? But when it's just, oh, he loves me, don't believe it. Okay, sure. She actually, let's see here. Let's go back here. I dated him actually for a month, and yes, he is in Canada. I'm running away to be with him because my parents are under financial ruin, and I'm so held back in life.
I just want to like add in like, don't make decisions based on finances, because you know the person you're getting with could always go into financial ruin too, and um, yeah, you don't want to get caught up into one just like running from one bad financial situation to the next, and yeah, ideally you like, I mean, you know, traditionally your parents take care of you until they hand you off to like a good man who's going to take care of you. But again, it's 2023 and that doesn't really happen anymore. And yeah, you don't want your judgment to be clouded just by like, oh, this person could take care of me, because there's probably tens or hundreds of thousands of people who could take care of you, like plenty sufficiently. And so, yeah, you don't want to just like be stressed out about finances into like running into the arms of like the first possibility.
And then Sheep is asking a good question. I actually had a similar question. Sheep, you read my mind, huh? Look at this. So you are going to flee the country and move in with him in Canada? Okay, she says yes. There will be wedding invitation in July or August 2024. Okay.
Is this
So,
up in BC or like other parts of Canada?
yeah. Where is it exactly, Ashton? He's going to grab you and take you out of the country without either of you telling your parents, and you're going to call them when you get to Canada or when you have the third child.
Was there too, like, because one of my good friends from high school married a Canadian, and they've been happily married for like 20 years now, but I think it took her like 6 or 7 to get like her Canadian passport. So like, I don't know if things are still the same, but at least back then, like it was, yeah, a lot more challenging to actually become a citizen. She was like there, she went to school, she was like working, I mean, for like years until she finally became a citizen. So just another heads up, like I said, it might be different now, but.
Okay, so her parents found out. She asked me to scroll back a little bit because I missed this comment. Parents found out, they didn't like it, and they took me away because she was dating him in Canada. Okay, he had feelings for me and wanted a relationship with me when I didn't, but I was patient. But he was patient. Okay, I see. It looks like you have a Shakespearean love story here, guys. Like your parents are against the marriage, and then oh my gosh, so much drama. Wow. Okay, what does Sheep say? I always listen to this guy because he's smart and he's good with numbers, you know.
He was patient equals he had no options.
Yeah. About getting a job in Canada as an immigrant, so he would better be able to support you. Yeah. Does he have a stable job, Ashton? Does Johnny have stable job? Okay, he's in Toronto, Canada, Melody.
I think that's too far for me to volunteer to come up and do the do all the flowers for the wedding, but I hope it goes well if it happens.
Okay. Nobody is going to stop you from marrying the love of your life if that's the guy. But wow, not a good plan. Trust me. Great way for family drama. I agree with accounting ship. It's too much.
It's always
drama.
best to have your parents on side.
What, Emma? What did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear
It's
you.
always good to have your parents on side.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to love the guy as much as you do, but you know, running off to a guy that they don't like is going to cause drama, isn't it? It's
Yeah, and if you are alone in Canada without your family, it could also be problematic.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know how the guy is going to behave, especially when he knows your position, when he knows that he's financially taking accountability, which is probably fine, and he seems to be a decent guy, and we only talked to him once. But you never know how he is going to change if you move with him and you don't have your family close by. You have to be 100% sure that he's the guy, and he has to um yeah he
When people like can put on a really good front from a distance from like a long time, and then sometimes you move in, and then totally changes situation. Like even if it's like not like you've been dating for like decades even, and then you get married, and then you move in together, and then like wow, this is a totally different person than I've known the last 2 decades. And
yeah
so just because that can happen, like having that happen in a place where like you don't have like any of the support of like your friends or family, and you're like, you're kind of stuck then. And like, depending if it's like a actual like situation where your physical safety's like in danger.
mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you always hope that things go well, but you have to kind of be open to the the chance that they don't.
So what does your mother, Ashton? I have a question now, since Melody was raising this question. If you are not feeling safe in your family, what does your mother say? Does she have any say in what happens with you? So while you're answering this question, I'm going to read here. Will Stevenson wrote us something. Do you have sovereignty? 100% Sam. Okay, Sam, were you saying something and we missed it? Sorry.
Oh, it was brief. I was just pointing out that he's, taking a when he said he was patient, or when you said he was patient, that means that if he wanted a relationship with you and you didn't want one and he just waited around, he had no options. And he's not doing it because necessarily he like wants to. It's just like a need thing. And like you don't want to be with a guy who doesn't have options, because
True.
that implies that he's not worth much.
Yeah. And then also accountanship brought up. I agree with you, Sam. Accountanship brought up here. Elena, he's a musician. Of course, he doesn't have a stable job. Oh my gosh, this is true. This is true. Yeah. Musicians, they usually don't, even if they make enough money at the moment, it's so fluctuating, and there are so many of them. Unless you have another valuable marketable skill that people want, such as engineer, for example, or a builder, he is a blue collar worker, or something else, and music is just on a side as a hobby. That could work, but it's really hard to make decent living out of music. There are just so many musicians out there, and you'd better be like really, really good and know what you're doing.
Well, I think it's prudent too that if you do have a job like that, like it's prudent to have like a backup thing too, or multiple backup things ideally. Like I like music, like I majored in French, but I also majored in biology because it's like realistically, like yeah, I love playing French horn. Like, could I ever support myself in this? Probably not. And then I realized that I could make even more money, like framing houses, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's like my main. And then I've got obviously like greenhousing. I love it. I can do it forever. Like I'll always do it, like as long as I'm alive. But it pays shit. So I just kind of keep in mind like yeah, there's things that I can do for money that I really enjoy, but it's like I have to have like marketable skills that are always going to be like relevant and in high demand.
Yeah.
And I think that like especially if you're a dude, you need to have that mindset. Like,
Oh
especially
yeah.
if you're like a dude who's like thinking that they might want to like get married and have any sort of like traditional relationship at some point.
It is important that he can provide for you, especially in a foreign country. If you're leaving your parents for the guy, this should be the question number one, because as Sheep or somebody was mentioning, you won't be even able to get the job right away until your documents are set up. So it's going to take a while, especially with these foreign marriages. Look, I met my husband when I was 24. We married when I was 26. It took us 2 years. Well, with Canada and US, it's going to be easier. It's not going to be as complicated, but still, these foreign marriages, they take a long time. And ladies, if you're thinking of marrying a foreigner and moving in, you need to consider that it will affect your ability to have kids later on, maybe, especially if you are thinking about it in your 30s. You won't be able to have kids right away. I mean, it's not very smart. The moment you move into the country, you need to adjust, you need to accumulate into this country. You need to see what the society is like, you need to get your driver's license, you need to do other things. And it can take a long time. It can take, it took me 5 years to get the citizenship. And even then I'm still learning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there are a lot of things that when you go into a new country, like a cultural shock that you may not think about, but people might view certain things differently there than in your country. So you need to think about these things. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, Ship, you are so pragmatic. I love this. Good way to be written out of the wheel, too. Yes. Yeah, you do something that your parents don't approve of, chances are you will be taken out of the wheel. It's the fact they will. It's not the fact that they don't like him, it's the fact
Okay.
they were courting online. Oh, so you haven't. Have you met him in person, or it's the online thing?
They'd video called, if I remember right, or video chatted.
Video chatted. Okay, so you only talk to him online. Ashton, it doesn't end well for you. Oh my gosh. Why didn't he come to meet your parents in person? If you've been talking to this guy for a long time, and Canada is not that far away from the US, why didn't he come to meet your parents in person? Because yeah, sure, your parents are not going to take the guy seriously, especially when you chat online, because there is no obligation to it. People say whatever they want to say online to get what they want. But when it comes to responsibility and accountability, let's be honest, neither man nor woman really want to deal with each other. So, yeah, I get the concern from your parents why they don't like him, per se, why they are suspicious about it. Because if he hasn't made arrangements to meet with your parents and with you in person, how are you supposed to, like, will you have the virtual life together? Will you marry him like virtually? You'll have the officiants calling you wife and husband online, and then that's it. Like you will get this perfect virtual world. How are you, like, in your mind you will leave the US and your parents and move in with him in your mind? This is just crazy, okay? I'm just calling it out here because it's not good. Oh, Johnny is here. Okay, Johnny, come on. Yeah. share with us what you think. If he would come to America with me if he was too homesick. Yes, Johnny, we are talking about you. So we have a lot of doubts and suspicions. If you want to tell us something that would help. Okay, I work, he says. Okay, I work, I have the money. Just got home, was finishing a song. Busy at the moment. Okay. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. He oh, it's so hard to follow your conversations, guys. You're so fast. Yeah, Johnny superhero. Oh, Sam.
Oops. Who did that?
Oops. Yeah. Have you guys like gone to dinner or something? Yeah, that's a good question. Have you had the in-person interaction? Because the online thing is just crazy. You can create so much delusion in your brain and you will believe that it's true. The more you say to yourself that you believe it, you will believe it. It will become your truth in your brain, but it's not the reality.
I know that it's. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's the whole like online thing. It's like, no, it's especially like young people are always like, they're trying to like create this like persona online, and then like, I don't know. I've never done online dating. I have no desire to. It just seems like weird. It's like, why would I just meet people in person? Like, if I wanted to date, you know? But like, yeah, there's like people that. I mean, I've seen it gone like the other way, where like I meet someone in person, they're just like super cool, super interesting, like super awesome, and then like I see their Instagram, I'm like, what the fuck? I would not even give you the time of day, like, because based on your Instagram.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it also goes the other way. Like, if you're attracted to their Instagram profile, like, are you going to actually be attracted to them in real life? Because a lot of times, yeah, it's just kind of like one side, or like an image that they want to present, and like the real them can be like, either way worse or way better. You get either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Sheep was saying, I'm just saying, try that before the whole engagement and moving to Canada. You mean the in-person going out to dinner or doing things together? Yeah, I agree. You can't just rely on what you see online. You need to meet the person in person. This is important. And those of you who are looking through Instagram, yeah, you can build a picture about a person based on the information that person is sharing. But if you never meet the person in real life, if you never go out together, if you just stay in your house and talk online, you will miss on a lot of information that you could get by meeting in person.
I'd like to interject here a little bit, so now that we've got kind of two sides going, you've got Johnny and Ashton. How do we know that Ashton's not like a psycho and poor Johnny's about to get himself in a whole bunch of trouble?
That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. Because I was thinking about it too. It's hard to, like, we can't even judge you guys because we don't know you personally or anything. And yeah. Like, we would need to see what comments you leave on his YouTube channel and what, maybe have him on call again so that he dives in deeper, because last time he was circling around and asking us questions just we couldn't really say that he was talking about you, but next time if he shows up, we would ask him the specific questions about you to get more information on how he views it, how he sees it. Okay, because yeah, it's hard to do it with the online setting. On the other hand, Elena, since they've only met online, great news about that whole virginity thing. Oops. Yeah. See, I'm kind of suspicious with people. I believe it when I see it. We are talking about your future, man. Yes, I agree, Johnny. Clear out your schedule. Join us for the discussion, maybe on Wednesday or on Saturday. Send me an email. Send an email to elenasbarre@gmail.com. And
Question for you, Elena. Question for you.
Yeah.
All right. So you understand the whole mental point of origin thing from a man's perspective, right?
Yeah.
From a rational male. So if Johnny's working on something super important right now to his success, and something that's very important to him, why should he stop?
Why should he stop
for this for this live stream, right? Just for this girl.
He shouldn't, but at the same time, this is where a man spend like you can't. Okay, if you are not interested in this girl, don't bother. Okay, but it looks like she's all over the internet spreading her love for him, and then he didn't say anything to oppose that in our prior discussion. This is why I'm thinking that he might be interested in her as much as she's interested in him, but it could be that I'm wrong. So he would have to, to clear doubt, he either would have to show up, or if he doesn't show up, it would tell me that he's not that interested in this girl per se. Maybe if he's working and he's busy, he's doing something else, that's all cool. But it will signal to me that, Ashton, you are delusional, okay? You've constructed something in your brain and you desperately want it to be true, but it's not true, okay? This is a you problem. It's not on Johnny, it's not on anybody else. You just want to believe what you want to believe in.
So if let's say he is focusing on something real in his life and he's taking care of it and doesn't it's not important enough for him to be on this call, why does that make Ashton delusional? Because now he's just coming across as somebody who's very focused and driven and wants to succeed at what he's doing, and that's attractive. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing either, but at some point, if she's the right girl for him and he knows that she's the right girl, he would have to do certain things, okay? He would have to prove that he is interested in her.
And why is the burden of proof through the internet, through our calls?
It doesn't have to be. Look, they brought it up on us. I didn't ask for it. I will be fine debunking bullshit on social media because there is plenty of it, It's like, yeah. I don't care one way or the other, but they brought it up to us. She came to me for help, and I'm like, okay, give me something to work with here. If they don't want it, I'm fine either way. You know what I mean? So it's like, if he doesn't want to show up, or if he doesn't see what we do here is helping him, it's fine. Okay, we will survive. We they will figure it out on their own. But I can tell you one thing: the fact that your parents are not aware and something is going on there, and I can't judge because I'm not a psychotherapist, a psychologist, and I don't know your family intersexual dynamics to give you a judgment call on what is going on there. Maybe she is in a toxic environment. Maybe, who knows? We don't know, right? We are only given these pieces of information, which is really hard to construct anything with. And maybe she's just desperate to to marry this guy and escape her parents. Maybe it's all in her head. Maybe her parents have something to do with it. I don't know. I only have as much information as you guys have.
Well, what I was talking about earlier with the like not, trying to flee due to like for financial reasons. Like you also don't want to be in a situation where you're like, oh, I'm in like this horrible like, I don't know, like emotional situation. It's like with family, and then like just run into the arms of like some dude who like see what's like, well, it's better than that, you know. Because then again, you're like not actually like looking for someone like as a partner. You're just looking for like short-term rescue, typically. Like you can trick yourself into thinking that it's like real love, I'm sure, but yeah, it's almost like a decision made under duress, and those are never good decisions made. And like the honest truth, like if you're a decent woman, there's like so many men who would be willing to like take care of you for like not needing it. Like you don't have to put out. Like you just do a little bit of cleaning and like bake fresh bread. Like just little basic things. Like they will love to have you around and like save you from like your current situation, and like not even like wanting anything, just wanting to take care of you because you're a decent person. And so, yeah, I think if someone's kind of like holding that, like, like, yeah, I'll save you, but you gotta like, make some really, really serious decisions, not just like, oh, I'm gonna like do the dishes and like make sure there's fresh coffee in the morning. If they're wanting you to like move to Canada and like get married like right off the bat and you haven't even met, that almost seems like it could be like manipulating and like taking advantage, like seeing that you're in a situation that you want to get out of, and yeah, basically playing with your emotions and using that as like a manipulative tool to like get what they want. And like, yeah, you can't know anything about anyone from the internet. Like, you're not supposed to meet strangers from the internet. That's what I was taught growing up, and I'm sticking to it. Other than Elena. I guess I met Elena on the internet. But
Does that mean everyone associated with Elena is a stranger too?
I don't know. You tell me, guys.
I think Emma's my only like Instagram friend that I've not actually met in real life.
I know, and do you know what? I would love to meet you guys in person.
Yeah, we actually met in person.
I know, I saw that, and I was like, oh, yeah. But even if, because I wasn't back then, but yeah, even if I was, I can't afford to fly to America.
Yeah. Well, I would love to meet you, Emma, because we met
one day we'll do it.
Melody and also Pikir in person. It was fun. We had a lot of fun because at some point, yeah, when you are just talking online, it's not enough to build the connection with people.
I'm just going to put the light on because it's I don't know what it is here. Yeah. It's 6 o'clock here, so like.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, Johnny, we are waiting for you. Would you like to call us?
That helped.
Yeah, if you don't want it, it's okay.
I've got some questions for accounting sheep. Saw something pop up there about every man for himself. I saw that I don't know much about accounting sheep, but I can judge based on the kinds of things he talks about. Yeah, every man for himself. Having that mentality is, to me, seems like somewhat of a byproduct of you feel the need. I mean, yeah, we all feel the need to like compete with other men because it's the world is a competitive place. But why? I guess instead of asking a question, I can just refrain and describe my experience. There was a time when I might have thought the same way, but when you learn about how many men's lives are destroyed by like the governmental system and bad relationships and things like that, it kind of reframed how I looked at like all of the other men in my life. It's like, yeah, okay, there are bad men out there, don't get me wrong. But my default assumption is to, you know, I want to question both sides. I wouldn't want Ashton to do anything dumb and ruin her life, and I wouldn't want Johnny to do anything dumb and ruin his life. So it's interesting to me, accounting sheep, that no regard is given for Johnny's situation. And yes, he's a man, therefore he's responsible for his own conditions. Yeah. But it seems a little, and some of your other comments about, Johnny, if you don't get on that plane, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday and for the rest of your life. It seems very urgent, very necessitous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, most likely, Johnny, if you're 38 and you're a musician, you got good stuff going for yourself, and you don't get on the plane, you might regret it. You might be like, well, yeah, she was a catch. You know, this was a great opportunity and I missed out on it. But having that scarcity mindset and being like, oh, I need to capitalize on this right now because I have no other options, and I got to do this. Having that scarcity mindset is a problem in not just relationships, but it's going to cross over into a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And a person who, it's a joke movie quote. Okay.
Was it a joke? Accounting sheep? Okay.
It might have been a joke.
I was like, oh my gosh. Oh.
But yeah, that mentality can it can cross over into whole other parts of life where they might make poor money decisions or other decisions if they are like act emotionally or act desperately in certain ways.
Yeah, at the same time though, I'd say that like, I mean, sometimes like people do like miss out and then they regret it, you know. There's like one guy that I went on a date with like years ago, just one because like he thought I was like a nice like normal person. Then by the time Friday came, I was like, hey, I stole a baby goat and I'm kind of stuck at home, so you're welcome to come on over. I'll like make some dinner and we can hang out with the goat, go to the park. And he was just kind of like, what the fuck is this? And so yeah, he was just kind of like, you actually do seem like cool. You're someone I want to be friends with. We're still like really good friends, but it's like, no, you are not someone I would ever want to like be with romantically. I'm like, yeah, that's totally fair. Like, yeah, good choice, good call. And like 5 years later, you know, it's just been like one just like, I don't know, like crap woman after another, and you had said like I think I really fucked that one up, but like, you know, I understand it's too late now, and like that's fine. And, you know, I'm still glad that you're in my life, but yeah, I mean, people do get like, you know, I mean, you can go like, so, and there's like a story I heard once because like women will do the same thing. It's like an allegory. So you're at like an apartment store and like, you know, you get on the elevator, go up to like the first level, and like kind of it's like, oh, here's a man who will like, you'll be able to financially support you. It's like, cool. Like, do you want to take this or do you want to go up and see what the other levels have? It's like, you know, maybe I can do better. So then they go up to like the second floor. It's like, oh, well, here's a man who like, you know, will take care of you and like genuinely like love you and be like loyal to you for your whole life. And it's like, well, you know, that's cool. Maybe I'll see what else there is. And then they get up another floor. It's like, well, this guy will do all that. Plus he's like super duper hot. And they're like, wow, well, like my options just keep getting better. Maybe I'll keep going. And, you know, and then they go through all the floors. It's like every floor, it's like a little bit better dude. And they turn them all down. And then they get to the top. And it's like, well, like, what were you looking for? You know? So I feel like, you know, men and women can both go like a little overboard with that sometimes.
Yeah, and some men can lose very nice chicks. I'm not saying that they need to sacrifice everything for these girls, but you kind of need to be objective. If you think that she's I get like from the spinning plates point, yes, I understand. But if the man wants to settle and have family and kids, and he found a decent woman out there are not that many decent women out there to begin with. Okay, so I'm not saying that you have to have this scarcity mindset, but at the same time, like if you meet somebody who is complying with your frame, who treats you nicely with respect, and if it's something that you really want, then why not to take it? You know what I mean? Because then later on, like, you miss one chance. I realize if they were like women in the olden society, they were all virgins, let's say, and men could like throw the apple and hit somewhere where it would be good, right? But now we live in this hookup culture where there are just not that many decent women out there. And for a man, if he wants to settle, if he wants to marry, being kind of like too, I'm not saying like too picky, lower your standards. No, but if you meet the woman who meets your standards, maybe that's it. Maybe that's a solution for you. You know what I mean? Because then you can spin plates like for forever. It's not to say it's a bad thing. If it's something that you want to do, go for it. Okay, I understand why you do it. Men biologically are to inseminate as many women out there as they possibly can, but at the same time, not all men will want that. You see,
Well,
maybe.
I think, yeah, if you don't want that, it's better to just go out and do that, and just don't even play like the serious relationship thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's totally fine to just be like, you know what, I'm like happy. And obviously for men, like, usually hopefully they're taking care of themselves, so it's not like, you know, they're trying to like get a mate for like resources. Like, if they're just after sex, like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot better luck like keeping the field open and just, you know, having more opportunities that way. And like, you know, a very traditional woman like will hold you back from that, you know. And so that's not what you want. Like, that's totally fine, but like, just, you know, make sure that you and the other person are like playing the same game, because otherwise, like, yeah, it's not going to be good for either one.
Yeah. Men need to be honest with themselves what they want to do. And look, some men are fine. Look at Mike Sartian. I honestly don't think he will ever settle. Maybe he will, like when he's 60 or 70. Who knows? For men, it's not that urgent to settle. The woman's biological clock is ticking. If she doesn't have kids by the certain age, chances of you having kids reduce, especially with the risks with later pregnancies, such as Down syndrome and other complications. Women are on a clock. For men, as the men mature, they gain value, they gain more resources, they can have kids when they're 60, because if they
The
don't have
risk for like chromosomal abnormalities does still go up with men, but it's later. It's usually sometime in the mid 40s.
A lot of women,
but there is still definitely like a clock in terms of you know, just because meiosis doesn't go as smoothly the older you get, and you're going to get chromosomes sticking together and lots of aneuploids. But you know, aneuploidy is not a bad thing at all. Like, appear totally normal as an aneuploid.
Emma was saying something.
I agree with what you're saying 100%, but there's a lot of women that are like older women now that are lying about their age to go and get IVF, you know, to have babies. I mean, you're hearing like women in their 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's right having babies that late anyway. By the time you know you're going to school, they're going to school, that you're going to look like their gran, and you're not going to be able to run around and provide as well. You know, but no, I agree with you. That's about the clock. I think.
There is a clock ticking on women's congruence. Oh, real, yeah.
That word has come up so much today for me. Not actually like aimed at me, but it's yeah, it seems to be the word of the day.
Okay, Ashton's chance of having kids dropped another 10% just while waiting for Johnny to join the stream. You're so funny, Shiv. Oh my gosh. Well, she's still young. She's in her 20s, okay? So she can still sort it out. yeah, she doesn't have a lot of time. And this is the problem with younger women. They think like, oh, I'm still 20, I have all the time I want. And then by the time they are out of the time, they turn 30 and they're still thinking that they're young, they can do everything. Yeah, that's problematic too. Yeah. While Johnny is done with his song, can we do another stream? Well, we'll have to keep it to this time. You know our time. We are doing live streams on Wednesday with Coco. So if he wants to join us with Coco Lawrence on Wednesday at 5 p.m. We moved it to 5 p.m. I need to remember. I need to set up alarm clock for that one. 5 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, and Saturdays at 9:15 with this group. Yeah. He can do it. I'll send the invitation link. Yeah. Sam, are you doing it from your computer?
Mm-hmm.
Writing comments? Okay, cool. Yeah, go follow Sam, Bungalow for Bachelors. He builds houses. Very interesting channel. Yeah.
Releasing another video today.
Oh, what is it about?
Building something, believe it or not.
Okay.
No, it's just more progress.
So are you showing the progress, or are you going to actually build things while you're doing a video?
Both? I'm not sure I understand the question.
Both? Okay. What I was asking, is it a live stream or is it a pre-recorded video?
Oh, no, I don't have enough subs to live stream off of YouTube.
Okay.
No, it's just it's all pre-records. Plus, it's I chop it up, add some music in. I try to make it somewhat entertaining.
I see. Okay. Well, ladies, go check out Sam's YouTube channel. Write him some comments. Huh?
You would not want to watch a 60-hour video of me thinking about putting a nail in and then putting it in the wrong spot and having to pull it out.
Yeah, right. As I said, I love work. I can watch it for hours. If you do some construction projects out there, I would watch. I would actually comment on them, but not too long, because I don't have 60 hours of to burn on watching you build stuff. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Ashton, as I said, we can do. He can join us for the time that we have. Okay, when I'm in Canada, I'll be on live stream with Johnny as soon as possible. Sure. Yeah, well, first you need to get there, okay?
And leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Nice. Well, good, guys. Let's do another one, and then we can probably wrap it up. I'm going to... Unless we have more questions and somebody wants to call in. Yeah, can we debunk? Oh, okay. This one got a lot of questions. I know it's an older one that I kind of covered in my previous video, but I don't think that you guys saw it. So let's watch this one. And then you can tell me what you think about it, okay?
Guy the other day.
Here.
So I heard a guy the other day say that if he ever has kids, he's not going to change any diapers. I think we need to talk about that. And to be honest, I'm not just trying to get on to men for this. I believe that this guy was probably in the minority when it comes to this thinking. But do you know what his reason was? His reason was because it wasn't his role. It would take away from his purpose, his passions, or his business. And if he was up 2 a.m. changing diapers or, helping her with the baby, it would take away from things that he wanted to accomplish, right? And if there's anyone who needs to better understand how difficult it is for men to be inconvenienced by a baby, it's a mom of a newborn. Nothing says I love and value you more than refusing to consider her emotional or psychological health postpartum and reminding her that she isn't even worth changing a diaper for. Here's what I know. It's easy to become a father. Most men do it at some point in their life. It takes a lot more work to be a dad. And we get a lot of guys out there that say, I would die for my wife. I would die for my family. But they won't even change a diaper. You can go your whole life and not have the opportunity to lay down your life for her.
But every single day you have a choice to die to your ego and self-centeredness and serve your family in the ways that matter most, not just financially. Changing diapers doesn't make you less of a man, but it does communicate that you're on the same team, that she can rely on you in those difficult moments of life. It does build trust together when she's exhausted and sleep deprived. That doesn't lose your man card, it earns it. So,
did you get it?
Yeah, I'd say like that's a fine mentality. Like, get your woman a governess. Like, I used to be a governess, and I was basically like the non-sexual backup wife. You know, like I did all the baby food, did all the cleaning, like all the laundry, like educated the kids. Like, yeah, that's fine to have that mentality, but like, bottom line, sometimes moms get sick, and like, so if you're gonna, yeah, just get her a governess. Get her a governess. Get like a house frau. Like, take care of all this stuff around the house.
Well, the governance implies resources, and if a man doesn't have resources, let's say,
Yeah, and if you're not in a
men-
position where you
most
can
men don't.
provide those resources, then I mean, like I said, a woman should, in my opinion, always be like, first to go. But I mean, if she's like in the hospital or like, super sick and like puking her brains out, or like sick with something that like could be extremely dangerous to the baby, and she's trying to not like spread it and like kill their child. Yeah, like you need to have a backup plan if you don't have the resources to like get a governess, and you're gonna have that mentality like, what the fuck were you thinking having kids?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. When a man must change diapers, there is no other option. Yeah, he should be able to change the diapers because it's his baby too, and somebody needs to do it. But when it's you're just relying on him to do it all the time for you, it starts with the diapers, and then this is how women get men to do whatever they want to do in a relationship when they pop up a baby. And yeah, we know it's a very complicated process to carry a baby for 9 months, but then you need to ask yourself the question, why did you want a baby to begin with this man? Right? It's your choice also. The accountability is on you. You chose to spread your legs, the baby came out of it. So now it's on you to raise this child, to do the motherly duties, so that this child is raised in a proper way. And if you are relying on a man constantly to change the diapers, and like, here I dealt with the kiddo for the whole day, they are yours now, and then a man is tired from work, and he wants some sleep too because he's tired. He has to provide for the family. He has to take care of the family physically and financially, and then you just offload on him. This is your duty. And this is, I think, a lot of modern women don't understand that nobody asks a man how he is feeling today, but somehow it has become your issues have become the world's issues. So if she is tired and if she doesn't want to deal with the baby anymore, she can offload it on him, and then he has to deal with it. He has to still provide, do his mainly duties, the burden of performance, right? And then in addition to that, he has to change the diapers. I'm not saying that for him changing the diapers is such a bad thing. If he has to do it, he will do it, right? If she's not around, yeah, sure, he will have to change the diapers. But on her relying on him all the time that he has to help her, and then it shows to her that he doesn't respect her, he doesn't love her anymore because he refuses to change the diapers because he's busy doing other things. This is something where I'm having trouble with. What do you think, Sam?
Well, it's been a few minutes since I've heard it now, but I've been kind of mulling over the same thing, which is first of all, if you're a man worth your salt, you are capable of providing enough resources to get things accomplished. Like, it's not about, I'm not touching poopy diapers, that's a woman's job. It's about, like, how valuable is this man's time? If he is like super busy and getting a whole bunch of stuff done, be able to provide a bunch of extra resources so that he can have great opportunities with his family and get to go do lots of cool stuff. That, like, nothing's free. That takes time, and if he's capable of doing that, then he's capable of, you know, getting a governess or a nanny or something like that to like help with that situation. And if the wife's mentality is like puts so much weight on the like, oh, you're not willing to change diapers, or you have to change diapers, or you have to be open to changing diapers, or whatever. Like, if you're already at that point, it's already unhealthy because she doesn't value your time and recognize your value enough to see that, oh wow, he's busy trying to do all these things, and he's busy supporting me and like allowing me this lifestyle that I don't really like. Yeah, you're working for in a different way, but you're not like going to a job. And it's like, it's just a lot of entitlement.
Yeah, and then it starts with the diapers. This is why I would be concerned if your wife raised this question, if she put it as an ultimatum, because then you will clean the dishes, you will cook meals, you will do the homework with the kids, you will do everything, all of your duties and your duties as well. So she will get all of the good stuff from you for free without any exchange of values. And this is where it becomes very toxic and very problematic. Also for children, because they raise in this environment, especially girls, they get used to the good stuff very quickly and they become very entitled very early. I gave you the example. If you follow me on Instagram, I occasionally share reels and I debunk them, or I ask you questions, guys, what you think about them. And yeah, girls become entitled very early, as early as 6 years old. This is how the feminists are grown.
I feel like the whole diapers thing, like, that's a major red flag. It's unfortunately something that's not really going to be able to present itself until it's too late. But I just, like, as a female without kids, like, it's for a normal, healthy woman, it is very distressing to see a child in distress. And if you have, like, a healthy female mentality, like, you're going to, you don't give a shit. You want to do what you can do to make sure that that child is no longer in, like, physical distress, you know? And so, like, yeah, baby's crying because, like, the diapers would be like, someone's like, I don't want to deal with that. It's like, what's wrong with you? Like, even if it's, like, not your child, like, you should want to be, like, jumping at, you know, an opportunity that easy. Like, it's that, like, yeah, it smells and it's kind of gross, but, like, wash your hands. Like, you should be doing that, you know, after you change a diaper anyway. So I really don't get that. Like,
yeah, why shouldn't
like, why is it that big of a deal? Like, especially, like, if you do have, like, a normal female brain, it's just like, oh, like, 5 minutes and the baby's, like, gonna be physically comfortable again. Like, that should be all the, like,
I agree with you.
To, like, make you, like, be, like, chomping at the bit to, like, you know, change the diaper. Like, so
Yep.
I don't get it, but I'm sure it happens.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you, Melody, 100%. Like, women by nature, they need to be more nurturing, right? Because this is what we are loved for. This is what people expect from us to be. And why not to do it? It will only take you 5 minutes. Why to make such a big stink out of it? Look, like, you wash the dishes after you are done eating, right? You don't just like, oh, husband, where are you? Go clean your dishes after we are done eating. Okay, well, he just spent 30 minutes cooking for you, right? Like, go take care of it by yourself. You need to do something here. It's not a handout. It's an exchange of values, ladies. Okay, we have an interesting question here. I'm not actually sure how to answer to this. Maybe Sam, you will know. This comes from your brother. Does Gordon Ramsay flip burgers at McDonald's. What are the most important problems that need solving in any scenario, and who is the appropriate problem solver?
So Will is very wise, and he likes to ask questions that like try to get to the super duper root of the situation. It's like separate the sex from it, separate the male, the female. It's like the way it seems that he's framing this is like, yes, like men and women have roles in general. Like, what is the Gordon Ramsay is not flipping burgers at McDonald's, right? Because he has more important things that he's more important problems he could be solving.
Yeah.
And it's not that changing a diaper is it is. Changing a diaper is a less important problem than like making sure bills are paid. Because if you don't do that, then you're homeless, and then everybody's in a crappy situation. But like, you also don't want to like leave poop on your kid, because that's also very bad. So he's kind of framing it from the perspective of if most of the time the wife, the mother, is around the child, and like day to day, a man's typically gonna work at least 40 hours a week. Most of the time the mother is going to be around the child, and then when he comes home, there's probably other stuff to be taken care of at home, like mowing the lawn or like fixing the sink or just other stuff that are typically associated with like a capable man, like fixing things. Not that women can't, but it's just like typically that's how it goes. So there's going to be other time, like his time doesn't stop being valuable when he's not working anymore. It's that, okay, what is the next best problem he could be solving? And it's, that's the way it seems to be coming at it from my perspective.
Yeah.
If you want to like think about lots of deep thoughts, follow him on Facebook. He's constantly posting this kind of question that make people think.
Yeah, that's a good question. I love these kinds of questions because they challenge people's perspective, and very, very wise man. Both of you are very, very smart. And how much older is he than you are?
Do you know how old I am? Oh, Melody.
Melody knows everything. Oh gosh, Mel, you were busy.
What are you, stalking me, Melody?
Yeah, she probably is talking to him. Nice. Okay, good. Well, good to hear that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sheep. Okay, they are talking about kids here. Okay, we are back to Ashton's case. Plans for kids, living situation, career plans, meeting the family, etc., etc. Really want to work that out. Okay. Okay. Well, we know the lifestyle of a Johnny. He's not creepy. He has clean house. Okay, that's good news, I guess.
I'm not trying to be like the naysayer, but I mean, when it's like a video chat, like you can go to like, I mean, if you're really determined, like you can rent an Airbnb and like do your video chats from there, and like there's always like backdrops. If you got a green screen, it can actually look like your real house.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can go to friends' house. I know that there's like, I mean, Elena knows from like doing, like yoga through the years, like sometimes I'll be house sitting and it's like a really, really nice place,
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean, just because like something's in the background of the video chat, like doesn't mean that, or like their actual house. I mean, again, I'm just always looking for the dark cloud in the sky. That's...
You can rent a house. I agree. You can rent a house. You can be in your mom's house, like she is staying here. Yeah.
Right, look how many houses you guys have seen me in.
Right, and they are beautiful.
Yeah.
Some of them are very pretty. Yeah. It could be someone else's mom's house.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't trust everything you see. This is the problem with the online dating and this online relationship session. You see that you can't really trust what you see, and the same applies to Johnny. Johnny, if you are still listening, if you're still watching, you can't trust 100% what you hear from her. You have to verify it. Okay,
You
so
can have dinner over online. A friend of mine was dating in 2020 during the lockdowns, and she was having Tinder dates on Zoom. And they'd make sure they had the same food, and so they'd actually have dinner together on Zoom. I know it's still online, and you still could be in someone else's house, or but yeah, at least you're spending time together eating and.
sure, yeah. Like those older ladies, yeah, like until you meet the person in real life, it's very hard to tell. It's nearly impossible to tell what his lifestyle is like, what he's working on, what is he actually doing, and the same applies to him. Like, what is she all about? If it's just the virtual relationship, it's not going to work in the long run. So I would suggest you, if you have a chance, meet in person and introduce him in person, maybe to your parents, see how they behave. And I know that you've mentioned that your dad was preparing a rifle before, because he didn't like the guy. Well, maybe he didn't like it. He didn't like him online because
Ashton's parents met him on on video chat or anything.
it looks like they have, and this is why they say that they didn't like the guy. But they haven't met him in person, and her dad was prepping the rifle and everything. Because usually parents, unless they are like dysfunctional and like crazy, unless they have some serious psychological issues or other issues, usually parents want what's best for their child.
Of course.
Right? And if they treat him this way, maybe because he hasn't proven himself yet in front of your parents, and he needs to do it because
in person, meeting them in person would go a long way, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Could I have a slight correction there? I would think that parents usually want what they think is best for their child, not necessarily what is best.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's congruent and, it's the same thing. But
parents, okay, she says here, you think he lost it? Here. Oh, sorry. Parents won't accept it. They haven't met him.
If they met him on a video call, Ashton. I mean, maybe that might help. And I'm sorry if you're still there, Johnny. I'm talking about you as if you're not here.
Well, it's hard to do it without hurting someone, guys. We are going to hurt someone in the process.
It's meant to anybody.
Yeah. Well, okay, he's still here. Okay, Johnny, you're still here. Cool. No, they don't care. So they met him online in the video. They didn't like him.
Okay.
I think she doesn't say if they met him online, but I think she mentioned it in her prior chats that they did see him online, and they didn't like him, so they won't accept him. Did they explain to you why they didn't like him? What were their reasons for not liking Johnny? Because I can speculate on what parents could say. based on what I know, they usually don't like the online virtual relationships because they are not true, and they would be right. They would be right to tell you that these are the concerns. But did you bother to ask your parents why they didn't like Johnny? What put them off?
Probably the fact that he's 38 and he goes by Johnny instead of John.
Okay, so because he's who I met online, and that is paranoid. I understand your dad. If
Yeah.
I were a dad or a mom, I would be suspicious too. I would be also paranoid because this is not right. You're supposed to meet the person in person. Yes, maybe introduce Johnny to your parents in real life. If Johnny shows up to meet your parents and you, so that he can show you his true intentions for you in front of your parents, and your parents can ask him some very rough questions, especially your dad, if he's a traditional dad. And from what I've understood so far, your dad is a very old-fashioned kind of man. He would hash it out with Johnny, and then you would be just sitting and watching how your dad does it. And yes, Johnny will be in a very uncomfortable spot, but if he has serious intentions for you, he would do it. This is what traditionally, historically, men were doing. They were introducing, the woman was introducing her boyfriends to her father, and then the father would sort it out. Have you watched the movie Meeting the Parents? I think you should watch that movie. I'm pretty sure you watched it. It's a pretty old movie. Yeah.
There was
Okay.
like a comedy one, right? With like
Yeah, it's a comedy. Yeah, it's a love story. It's a comedy, but it's a good one because, yeah, maybe there they portray it as an extreme. Maybe your dad wouldn't actually go that far as that dude went there, but it's good to have dad to figure things out, because maybe he will love Johnny if he meets him in person, and Johnny seems to be a decent guy out there. Maybe your dad will say, okay, I didn't like him at the beginning when you were meeting online because it sounds suspicious, and let's be honest, he's right to think that. He's right to think so. But now, since I've met him in person, I've changed my mind about him. He is a decent guy. You get my blessing to marry him. And then your parents will be invited to the wedding, and you will move happily to Canada. So yeah, jumping from that to marriage proposal is less fine. Time to meet the family. Yeah, you need to do it. You need to meet in person first of all for your own good. Maybe you don't introduce Johnny right away to your parents. You first meet him in person to see whether your parents would actually like him. Yeah, whether you want to be with this guy in person, because I'm telling you, it can be very different from what you see in each other online versus when you meet in person. You might be disappointed. So when you meet in person, maybe the second date you introduce him to your parents, if that's the serious intentions that you both have for each other. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Will, our wise wisdom guy here. Online things do not relay the same density of information that in-person relationship interaction can. Yeah. I agree 100%.
I think too, it's like, I don't know, when it takes a long time to like accumulate like a really like a big group of like friends who are like you're not like romantically involved in, but they like have that like protective like nature over you, and they're like good friends, because then like they're they're sometimes better in some ways at like vetting people than your parents, because like there's not as much of a generational gap, and they're, I don't know, is more keen to like kind of like behavior and like how people's minds work, like, you know, in like modern society versus old parents. But yeah, like when I was in my 20s, I didn't have like a bunch of men who were like, you know, like Instagram stalking like any dude that I expressed interest in and being like, hey, these are red flags, like you be careful with this one, you know. But yeah, definitely like you wanna start like when you find like decent people who like do have your best interest at heart and like they're not trying to like get stuff from you other than just, you know, friendship stuff. Keep those people close. Like keep them around for life. Like if they genuinely have your best interest at heart, because like they will just like by their nature and like, you know, male protective instincts, like they're gonna be vetting everyone, and like they'll let you know like if this person seems decent or not, or like, you know, I don't know, like maybe take it slow and like, you know, wait and see what happens. But yeah, so I mean, I think like vetting needs to occur, but like, you know, certainly parents are important, but also people that have earned your respect and that you know, you trust their judgment and are willing to like take in, like, you know, internalize their input and put it to good use. And yeah, so I feel like especially with like online things, yeah, and they need to, everyone who's part of the vetting process like needs to meet this person in real life, like, you know, before making any like final like consensus.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, meet him in person. Okay, I did send the link. It's okay, Ashton. Don't push on him too much. He will call when he has time and when he wants to talk about it. Maybe maybe there are certain things he doesn't want you to hear. It could happen too. You know, if that's the case, Johnny, tell us. Okay.
Tell us on this live stream that's going on the internet.
Yeah.
I promise to keep it secret.
Right, I know. It's just funny. Yeah, guys, I think we are pretty much done here. We can debunk more things next week. I hope that I will be able to figure out my laptop here and maybe do a presentation, because I like it when we have a presentation and like we are more organized this way. But this kind of format also works. Thank you for everyone who joined us today. Remember to tell your friends that we are doing this thing and they are welcome to participate in our discussion and send us comments, send us the live chat what they think about the topics. Okay, so it's nice that you, Sam, invited your brother. Good to see you, Will. Thank you for joining. And Ashton, Johnny from Cyberpunk Dystopia. That's his YouTube channel. Yeah, this is Johnny's YouTube channel. And thank you, Accounting Ship, for your spicy comments. As always, appreciate you. Okay. Where is Melody? Where did she go?
Coffee. She went to go get more coffee.
Oh, to get another coffee. Okay. Well, we'll wait for you. Yeah, more coffee time. I see. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Johnny, if you want to join us for the conversation with Coco on Wednesday, just tell me in the comments, okay? In the chat, I'll share the link with you. Yeah, and yeah, unless you guys want to add anything else. If you saw some content that was misleading, have you seen lately something that was worthy of debunking?
I try not to put those things in front of myself. They do not get follows from me.
Oh.
I go the opposite direction.
Oh, you go the opposite
Positive
direction.
vibes only.
Oh, positive. Oh, God. Oh my goodness. I wanted to show you, since we talked about, hold on, positive vibes. Where is this little girl? Oh, she's only 6 years old, and she was saying, positive vibes, positive vibes. Like, yo, do you even know what you want, what you are actually saying, or you're just stupidly repeating after your parents what your mother told you to do? This is just so crazy to see these little girls doing everything that their mothers are saying, and you know that it's not their words. 6 years old, come on, you don't have mental capacity, you don't understand what you are doing.
I did manifest a coffee maker this week for work.
Oh, you manifested it?
Yeah. My coworkers were talking about getting like a Keurig at lunch, and I was like, Keurigs suck. I would never, like, who wants 1 cup of coffee? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And then, yeah, later that night, I was like, hold on, trying to do some like housework, and it's like, hey, you want this Keurig? I'm like, no, but I'll take it because my coworkers do. I don't know if I actually manifested it or not, but it worked out. They're very happy about it.
Okay, well, this one, let's listen to it. It's from a small girl, and I feel bad for bringing it up to you guys. I'm not against kids. I'm just against how these kids are being used on social media to get more likes, more recognition, more dopamine hit, more validation for their entitled mothers, because we all know where it's coming from. Okay, hold on. This one.
Your body. Think good thoughts, because your body hears everything your mind says.
Wow.
Well, this one is probably not your worst. Here, I have to dig down more and more and more.
Probably wise to not show the video part on the camera.
Oh yeah, that's a
In case
good
the parents
call.
get upset.
Yeah, with the kids. Yeah. Well, they put it public. I mean, it's a public account, and she has over 1,500,000 followers, which is like.
So, are you getting her more engagement then?
That's a good. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Yeah, when I did presentation, usually I didn't put her out there. Like, where are your positive vibes video? I can't find it. It's all from this yogic content creators or spirituality content creators. They're just so wound up about positivity, happiness, and fulfillment and joy, and just like euphoric state, constant euphoric state of blissfulness. This is considered to be the normal state of human beings.
Lovely, but unfortunately, real life isn't like that.
Right.
I mean, you need the highs with the lows. You know, it kind of balances it all out. It's makes you appreciate the highs more.
I know, but like the information, and when you connect the dots, okay, I'm not going to show. I'm probably not going to find you. I'll try to find you for next time, because I have a lot of content for debunking.
A lot of spiritual people were like,
you see
so
this
happy all the time, 24/7, and you're like, that's not a natural state to be in.
It's not a natural state. They're either on drugs or they meditate. They manifest themselves into being in that kind of state where they are escaping the reality. They are escaping the problems, because nobody is going to solve the problems for them. They need to wake up. In order to solve the problem, you need to acknowledge the problem exists first. But this requires for you to come down to earth, open your eyes, and realize that the problem exists in the first place, right? And what they often do, they just sit, meditate, close their eyes, and like, oh, this perfect state of being. You love yourself. You imagine this green light. It embraces you, and like, you feel so great. And yeah, in that kind of state, and then you can't think rationally about the things that are happening around you. You are escaping the real problems that you have to solve. And at some point, all of your delusions that you've been manifesting, that you've been programming yourself with, they fall apart. they just fall apart. And you see the connection here, like we see all the women talking about this shit, and then the younger girls, like 6 years old, yeah, whether she says it because her mother picked up on that, and then she tells her, oh, this is the right thing to say, this will give you more likes, this will give you more dopamine hit, and like these girls, they learn from very young age that this is the behavior, this is what they need to pursue in life. They need to pursue happiness, they need to pursue all of this crazy manifestations. Life just happens, things just appear in front of your eyes because you deserve that. You don't need to do any work, you just get it, right? If you believe in it, it will be true in your mind. Yeah. And they get this kind of attitude very early, and it comes from people around them. Who is teaching them? Their parents, mostly. When they are still young, they tell what their parents tell them. You see? Okay, accountingship. Well, not if we don't say the name of the channel. Yeah, well, it's still a good idea not to show your face. Yeah, because people, there are so many creeps out there on internet.
I've got an account. I'll send it to you because you'll have a field day.
Yes, please. If you notice something interesting that we can bring up for our later discussions,
exactly
please.
What you're saying is a mother and daughter, and her daughter's quite small, and yeah, she's always saying, so what do we do if we have a bad dream? And and this little girl will just spew loads of positivity and rainbows and glitter.
Yeah, and it's everywhere. And you see, even men. I recently saw a man asking a boy, so how do you hug yourself or something like that? I'm like, seriously? Are you trying to raise defective girl here? Because it's like all emotional, and this is what boys are being taught. They're not taught how to be boys, how to fight for their territory, how to prove who they are, right? When I was working with teenagers and children back in Europe and in Russia, we were taking them to study foreign languages, and I did lead the groups. So I was actually staying with them to watch their behavior and kind of resolve a lot of conflicts along the way. I saw the boys, and every time they were fighting, I was like, let them be. They will figure it out. They will sort it out. And then in the end, those became the best buddies. This is what men do. You can't educate them in the same way you educate girls. You can't teach them the things that we teach girls, but we don't even teach girls how to be proper females in schools anymore. We don't do that. We don't teach them how to be proper women in colleges either. Because what do we say to girls? Oh, you're a strong, powerful, and independent woman. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. And then the Prince Charming, the white knight, will be sitting and waiting for you when you are done sleeping around and when you're done with all of your fun experiences. You see, and then she's in her 40s or 30s, and then she's still single because she still believes that she can be strong, powerful, and independent. She doesn't need no man. And I'm not talking about individual cases here. I'm just talking about like mass propaganda, mass project that has been introduced to broader audience out there. A lot of women believe this, and they believe that it's their truth. And this is why we have, I've recently debunked my truth, your truth, objective truth. There is no such thing as my truth, your truth. It only exists in your mind. It does, because if you look at objective truth, it doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care how you feel. Yes, it's harsh, but if you see the objective facts in front of you, you are less likely to mess up. You're more likely to make better rational choices on that objective truth rather than the truth that you've created in your mind, because it only exists in your brain. It doesn't exist in real life. You see the problem here? And this is why I'm saying, guys, in fitness community, come join us. There is a lot of work ahead of us. We need to rewrite all of these books. about how to be like spiritual and how to connect with yourself and all of this emotional bullshit, because it's just is crazy. It doesn't lead us anywhere. It's very unhealthy, very unstable. We have more narcissists today, and they are really hard to detect unless you have psychological training. Even then, it probably won't be enough. You need to be like a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, you know, to be able to walk through those conditions. There are so many narcissists out there, and this word is overly overused, especially when we are talking about social media. But if you see what kind of content is being posted there by women in particular, because serious men, they're just like, okay, they share a few posts maybe once in a while. They're not very active on social media because they're busy doing other things. They're busy maintaining and building the infrastructure that we all benefit from, right? Women have all the time. Women expose themselves. Women are there. It's like female dynamics all over, you know? And then what kind of content they post? It's just crazy. Like, me. Look how many people like me. Okay, what if I expose this part of my body? How many people will like me? What if I do this? What if I say this? Something that is nonsense. It makes no sense. It's totally emotional bullshit, but I'll say it anyway because it gives me more clout and more validation. When you start analyzing these things, you will notice that it is not fun. There needs to be a lot of work that needs to be done to undo all of the damage, all of the delusions that have been created. Yeah, thanks. I can listen to Elena speak the truth all day. It's frustrating when you actually spend your time analyzing the content and what kind of impact it has on people. Guys, these big content creators, they don't challenge themselves, and this is the issue number one. The people who have influence, who have power, who have authority, who have some credibility and other people listen to, they refuse to challenge themselves. They're like, oh, but I believe it's my truth. And then they are promoting it. And then people, because they are looking for the confirmation bias, they don't know any better. They are just listening to them without having any doubt, without asking any questions. Yeah. It's crazy. So we'll keep debunking some of that content. And Emma, yeah, share that content with me, please. Send me reels if they are related, guys. If they are related to what we are talking about here, if they're fitness related or
I can't remember what they're called, so I'll have to find them. But I am.
Yeah, share it, because then we can bring it up. We can talk about it here, and also tell people what we are doing here so that they join us for our discussions. Okay. I'm always happy to see you guys. What we are doing is important. It needs to be done. I just wish there were more fitness instructors who would join the community, because usually fitness instructors, they have a lot of following. People listen to them because they are the experts, right? People rely on their advice. They want to be strong and healthy physically mostly, but also what I see a lot of fitness instructors are doing is they are like, you need to be like mentally strong, but mentally strong is like hate all of the people who disagree with you. And this is not a good healthy advice. Instead of telling people, no, you need to challenge yourself mentally just as much as you challenge yourself physically. You need to listen to opposing views that challenge your belief system. Because if you are just looking for the confirmation bias of your delusions, you will be more deluded. It's not good, it's not healthy for you. But we don't see a lot of fitness instructors joining us. So this kind of frustrates me, because there needs to be more work that could be done. Because imagine if fitness instructors united and they did this campaign, let's say, to unfuck people from their own delusions, this could be something powerful. This could create something really, really positive and healthy for the society. But they would lose a few followers. You will always lose a few people who are looking for the confirmation bias to begin with. But because they're so wound up, and this is the problem with the content creators. I'm sorry, guys, I'm kind of fuming here on you, but I want you to pay attention to the content creators. They are all about themselves. They're like, me. What works for me? Do I get more money? Do I get more clout? What do I get personally? And then if you look at the business owners, especially female business owners on Instagram, for example, they are all for empowerment. And watch what kind of content they create. Are they interested in helping people, actually solving problems for people, or are they all about themselves? And now, since we've covered a lot of topics, you can check out other seminars that we did. We did a lot of debunking with Melody before, with Sam also, and Pikia was joining us, and Emma recently joined us. You can see what makes good content and what makes bad content. And analyze it. Okay, I see some hidden messages. Guys are talking here. Am I getting okay here? My room.
So I wouldn't read those out loud over the stream, Elena.
Okay. I'm trying not to. Okay. You guys are having too much fun. Good. We're going to wrap it up. Unless you have the final thought. Remember to share your comments, what you'd like to talk about next time. We have a lot of topics. We can always keep talking about relationships. We can do call-ins. We can debunk some bullshit. In an ideal situation, we will do all of it. Okay. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, please, and leave your comments after the live stream. And those of you who also were on stage, please write a few comments, okay? Because it's like you're joining here, but you're not. Melody was actually writing comments under a few videos, so it's always nice to see what you think, guys. Okay, so leave us a few comments. And we are going to have fun. I'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
And you
enjoy your weekend. And Melody, tell me, when do you want to resume the classes on Sundays?
So I could actually probably do tomorrow. We're really trying to get this house finished up before the weather gets super bad.
Yeah.
So I might be working a lot of weekends coming up.
Well, that's okay.
I could do something tomorrow.
Okay.
Kind of work through. I think that messing my back the other day because I almost stepped on my friend's dog, and so then I kind of mid fall did a weird backflip thing.
Let's do some gentle stretches.
Some hip stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's I think I'm at for the Pilates. It's the side leg raises and some other stuff. So I'll modify it if I have to. But yeah, if you want to do something tomorrow, we can do a little 30-minute.
Yeah. Let's do some back stretches. I think they would be helpful for people too who are joining us. Just gentle stretch. Those who want to gain more mobility and flexibility, join us tomorrow. We will do it at 9:15, same time tomorrow with Melody. Okay. Try to be on time, and tell your friends that we are doing this, and join us. We'll have a lot of fun. Okay. I'll see you all next week. The rest of you next week. Okay. Good. Let me take us out from here. Take care, guys. Bye.
bye.